Good afternoon. Today is the 5th of March, about 12:04 p.m. here in New York, and we will be starting our first session of Selenium Automated Web Service Web Testing. This is the March batch, March of 2016, and that's basically, we will be here for the next 4 weeks, and we will be learning as how to become an automated tester, and we will be using Selenium with Java to do the testing of the web applications. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Irfan, and I will be your trainer for the next 4 weeks, and we will be meeting on Saturdays and Sundays between the hours of 12 to 2. And it's going to be for next 4 weeks. And our training is going to be completely hands-on. And today, on day one, you'll find me doing a little bit of talking. The reason for that is I got to lay out the plot of what you're getting into. And once we have a little idea of where we are going from here, then it's going to be all hands-on. So the training is 95% hands-on. You will be finding me doing stuff here. You will be watching me doing it, and then as a part of your assignments, you will be expected to complete certain assignments. So there will be, all in all, about 8 assignments that we will be giving it to you. And the idea here is to transfer the knowledge. So make sure that you understand everything what we are going to be doing here for the 8 sessions. And the 8 assignments will particularly cover scenarios that you would possibly come across when you are going to work on a real-life project. So talking about a real-life project, there will be at least 3 different projects that you guys will be testing as a part of this course. So the assignments, again, will help you not only to learn what we are trying to teach you here, but at the same time, you will also be able to handle almost any interview question that will come to you if you are in a process of, getting interviews. Now, there are 2 ways we could be running this course. One is completely, make it interactive so that, whenever I say something, you hear me out. And then if you have any questions, you ask me right there and then. You could ask me those questions. So we want to make this as an interactive session, meaning that you should be able to ask me questions if you're not able to understand. So don't worry about the rest of the group in here. I want to make sure that you understand everything, and you should be able to ask me questions. So there are a couple of ways you could ask me questions. You could type your question in that chat window, or you could raise your hand, and I will unmute you, because right now I have muted everyone here. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand. I will unmute you. You can talk to me, and you should be able to interact with me. Now, this is an online training, so there is going to be a possibility that things might go wrong, meaning that if my voice is not clear, I would say about 99% of the time the training runs without any glitches, but occasionally, there might be a glitch here and there. So if you're not able to hear me, of course, you should type and let me know. Or for whatever reason, if let's say my computer crashes, right? If my computer crash, then it's not the end of the session. I mean, I'm gonna reboot and re-log in. So I want you to stay where you are, unless it's like a tail end of the course and it's about to end the session, and then there's no point in me coming back at that time. Now, what are the chances that the computer would crash? Well, Murphy law can always apply. So if something can go bad, there's a chance that it might go bad. Not necessarily that it will, but there is a possibility. So I'm just going through some housekeeping rules in here. Now, let's see. Did the class start yet? There's no sound, and screen is frozen. Well, is that the case with everyone? You can't hear me? Can you hear me? You should be able to hear me, right? So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So the person who is not able to hear me, I have to say that the session is going on, and if her screen is frozen, so she should be able to log back in. So give me just 1 second. Session is going on. Whoever has an issue, please log out and log back in. All right. Okay. All right. So let's get started. All right. So let me see what is the intention. Why are you here on a Saturday when things are getting better outside? The weather is improving, but I see you folks here on a Saturday afternoon. Well, first of all, I appreciate that. It tells a lot about your commitment to learn something, and so we're going to be doing our best to make sure that we transfer this knowledge. So what is the expectation out of this course? By the end of this course, in about 4 weeks, fast forward, what do you get out of this course? You should be able to flawlessly test applications. Now, you may ask what kind of applications. There are different applications out there when it comes to software. You know that there are mainframe applications, there are client-server applications, there are a web application, something that runs in a browser, and then there are mobile applications. So if I talk about an application, what kind of application would you be testing, or would you be sort of like becoming an expert on at the end of this 8 sessions? Well, it is going to be a web application, something that runs in a browser. So you all know that we, by default, I mean, majority of the times people, they tend to open Internet Explorer as the browser, but that's not the only browser. You have a choice of Firefox, you have a choice of Google Chrome, you have Opera, you have Apple Safari. So you never know the application that the company that you would be working for, and it could be any company. It doesn't really matter. The business domain is not of big significance. You could be working for a financial hub. So let's say you could be working for Bank of America. You could be working for Citibank, or you could be working for some retail like eBay or Amazon or Alibaba.com, right? It could be some brokerage application that you would be working on, like let's say you would be getting hired by E-Trade or Ameritrade or Scottrade. So it really doesn't matter. Having a business knowledge definitely is going to help you a lot, because that's where you're going to be shining, because of the fact that you have the idea of how that business works. But in our case, we're not going to be discussing about the business. We basically would be focusing on learning this skill, and the skill is about using Selenium along with a language called Java to do your testing. Now, most of you would come back and say that, hey, I do not know Java. What do I do? I mean, where should I start? I would say don't worry about it. The reason you don't have to worry about it is because we will be learning Java, enough of Java so that you could do automated testing. Now, am I going to be making you a developer or a programmer who will be writing code to build applications? You would be getting into, let's say, frameworks like Struts or Spring, or for that matter, would be building Java server pages, would be writing a lot of in-depth and intense code of using object-oriented programming and learning concepts like inheritance and polymorphism. And no. We're not going to be doing that in this short course, because this is going to be completely about learning enough of Java so that you, as an automation software test engineer, should be able to test the web applications using Java. So again, my intention here is not to make you an expert of Java, because for that you have another course. We have a course called Java for Testers. You should be looking at that. Again, this is going to give you enough of Java that you should be able to do the testing. Now, Selenium as basically as a tool to test the web applications can use a language. The language can be Java, right? Or it has other languages that Selenium can be using. So there is a language called C#.NET. Now, in this particular course, I will not be teaching you C#.NET. You may ask why. The reason for that is C#.NET is another course. Now, why are we doing that? Are we trying to make more money by having these other courses for every topic? No. The answer is you have to make sure that when you are coming here to TrainingRite to learn something, my goal is not to cut corners and then give you everything of everything, and then you will be a like not an expert in any particular area. You would be sort of like a jack of all trades. My goal here is to make sure that you concentrate on one thing and then you learn that one thing good to a point that you can be very confident when you are done with this course that you should be able to handle anything that they're going to be throwing at your way. So what is the expectation when you go to work as a Selenium automated tester? Well, they would be asking you to test application. So let's start with an application. What is an application? Well, I can get you started and say that what company are you joining? So let's say if you join, let's say AT&T. So if I take you to attwireless.com, let's say you join this company, and you have been tasked to test their application. And so an application, a business application, is nothing but it's a collection of features that web application will offer you. So there are many things. To get started, I would say that, well, one of the features of this application is the ability of a user to log in, right? You should be able to log into their application. Once you log in, what would you do? If you are at this AT&T, you could look at, how many calls you have made and where are those calls, and you could look into your account summary, and you could say that when was the last time you paid a bill, and stuff like that. So that's particularly about this business. Now, let's say if you're not hired by this company, you're hired by Amazon.com, right? So what would you do at Amazon.com? Again, a web application, something runs in a browser. So here you might be a user, might be coming in to do what? To buy something or to search for something. So one of the features of the application of this website the developers at Amazon would have built is when you search for something, it should be able to give you that particular product list related to your search. So is the search working? So search is a feature of an application. So you are basically testing the features of an application. Now, if it is a banking application, what would you do? We all have been using these online applications. When you log into a bank, what is the first thing that you would be looking into? If you have a checking and a savings, you would go into the checking, and then you would look into like, did my deposit go through, right? I wrote a check, did it go through? So you're looking into your balance, and you're looking into the credits that got applied to your account. The credits are in the form of deposits that are being made, or if you're making some money, that money would get deposited, and so you're looking into, is it my balance, is it the right amount of number? If you see all of a sudden $2 million there, I don't know about you, but I will be a little bit surprised to see that kind of a money in there, because to me that's like, whoa, I never earned that money, so something is wrong somewhere. So the idea here is, before an application goes into production is the whole world should be able to use it, or whoever is the users of that application would be able to use it. So before it goes out there, when the developers, when they are building, developers are not God, right? I mean, they're not going to be making the perfect application. There's a pretty good chance that they might, forgive my friend, they might screw up things, right? If they screw up things, then who is going to tell them? Because the poor guys have a lot on their plate. They have 100 different things to do. So they have a good intention. They are trying to build a good software, but there's a pretty good chance that, unintentionally, accidentally, they might have, they might be causing that particular feature not to work correctly the way it is supposed to work, right? So they need some help. Who is going to help them? You, as testers, you are going to test and you're going to help them, saying that, hey, you know what? You screwed up here, right? So how are you going to do that testing is what you're going to be learning in this course, right? And you could be doing a testing using 100 different products out there. QTP, UFT is one of the most popular product which is out there to do testing, right? But it's a licensed product. What do you mean by licensed product? Meaning that a company have to, come up with tons of money just to buy that software, so an automated tester could go and test the application. So before even they could, a software engineer could lift his or her finger to do the testing, the company has to invest a lot because they have to buy that software. In case of Selenium, it's open source. So what do you mean by open source? Well, they're not putting in any money. It's free. So free is good, but again, there's a misconception of people. They say that if there's something free, probably there is not good of value coming out of that product. Now, that misconception has been put to rest by a company like Google. Now, Google is a big company. So Google adopted Selenium as the tool to do their testing. So any application Google is coming up with, and gosh, that Google is a very, very powerful and a good company because of the fact that I for one, I could go anywhere in the world, right, and see how that area looks like, right? The other day we were looking out for a property, and this property is in some no man's island, and so I don't really have to drive all the way up there to find out like how it looks like. Guess what? Google has that feature, Google Earth or whatever that is, Street View, and you could zoom your camera 360 degrees and not only know how the property looks like, but even the neighborhood looks like. You sort of like you're virtually driving, if you know what I'm talking about, right? So Google is a powerful, big software company, and they are using Selenium for doing their testing. So that tells that Selenium has got power. It has got juice. It can do a lot of things. Now, it would come to us, right, as automated tester. Do we know everything as how to drive this beast? So you will be mastering the skills in the next 8 sessions so that you could, kind of like, control Selenium and ask it to do anything that you want it to do. And what is that you would want to do? You would want Selenium to help you to test this application. So together, you as testers and developers, we all produce a good software. Because if you fail to find out a bug or a defect, right, that defect is going to go through, and when the world comes to know that this application is not behaving the way it is supposed to behave, it's not only a bad name for your company, but bad name for you as a tester, that you were not able to catch that defect. So your intention, your goal is to catch those defects. Okay, so we will be learning Selenium to do that. Now you would question, why is manual testing not enough to do something like that? Well, manual testing is the way to go, right? Why are we bringing in Selenium or automated testing? The reason for that is, think about it. If you have, let me take you here just to give you a simple example. Let's say this application is built, right? And we have to test just this functionality, right? And what is this functionality? You should be able to log in. Now you would say that, well, in order to test this login functionality, I should have an account. Don't you think you should have an account? Yes, the answer is you should have an account. Now, do you, as Asif or Bridget or Madhu or Mena, right? Naseem or Shobia, Shweta, right? Do you guys have like accounts in here? The answer is no, you don't have an account. So you will click on the sign up and try to create an account. So this is don't worry about the way this site looks like. This is only done for testing. So if you are commenting about, I don't like the way the site looks, I agree with you, right? Because the focus is not on the cosmetic looks of the site. I'm not trying to come up with an excuse. It is very easy for me to put some lipstick on this pig and make it, look a little better. I could do that, right? I could do that. And for those of you who want to know how it is done, you will be using something called CSS, Cascade Style Sheets, right, to apply some style to this page so that it comes alive. It is pretty similar to you going in front of a mirror, right? And forgive me, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody here, but I, for one, I have a good experience of people who would go, if you have to go to a party, right? I take about like 5 minutes. I'm ready. In 5 minutes, I'm ready. But I know people who would take about a good 45 minutes. And at the end of 45 minutes, I'm like, are you ready? No, just give me like 5 more minutes. And I'm like thinking, what are you doing for 45 minutes in front of that mirror, right? So basically, they are trying to look good by applying that cosmetics, right? So this page, before going to the party, when you get out of the bed, you're not all dressed up, right? So this page looks like that. Now we can make this page come alive by trying to put some cosmetic effects on it using something called Cascade Style Sheets. Now, that is the job of a developer. That is not your job. That's not my job. That's the job of a developer. So what we are going to do, we are going to test the behavior or the functionality. So what is the functionality of this? I mean, this page could be looking the most beautiful on planet Earth. It is very, very flashy, right? But if it cannot do the basic job of what it is supposed to do, so what is the job of this page, you think? What do you think is this page supposed to do? Just talk to me. Just type or tell me, what do you think this page is supposed to do? Now, you would say, I think this page is supposed to take new customers. So I would say, wow, you're right. Exactly. That's the task, or that's the job, or that is the functionality or the behavior. Now notice I use 4 words there. I said that's the task, that's the job, that's the functionality, that's the behavior. Now that's the task and that's the job, layman's language. That's the functionality, that's the behavior, is sort of the technical jargon that you as a tester should be using when you are claiming yourself to be an automated tester, right? So focus on every word that I utter in this training, and take away whatever you have to take away, and then filter off my not so funny jokes and all that. Just filter them off, right? So you don't really have to even laugh at it, because that is not the idea. The idea here is I have to tell you a story so that I make a point with that story. All right. And the point of my story here is we are here not to worry about the looks, because that is right now not the focus. The focus is functionality, right? Functional testing. Functional testing is, hey, if I go in here and I want to make myself a user of this website. So what is my first name? Okay, I will go with my first name as that, right? Okay, what is my last name? I do not want to use your last names in this course. I do not want to do that, right? So I'll just make up your last name. So rather than making up a last name and then you get offended by it, because if I could call you Smith and then you're like, I'm not Smith. So we are not here to have the discussion whether you are Smith or whether you are Reddy, whether you are no. So I will call you last name, but in real life you will have your last name. In this I gave you the reason why I'm using that. Okay, let's say your email is sobia.lastname at TrainingRite. That's not your right email, but I'm just making it up. The idea here is, the focus here is, this form has to work. And how is this form working? It is taking all my information, and whatever information I am putting it in there, is it taking all the information and storing it someplace? Is it doing that? If it is doing that, then I can say that yes, it is working. Right? So let us see if we go in here. Password, I'll use the word password. You cannot see it, but it is uppercase P, A, and lowercase a, SSWORD. That's what I have put in. And your home phone number, I'll just make it up. So your home phone number, let's say, is 369-852-147, right? And let's say the cell phone number is the same. And in the instruction, I'm going to say that Sobia is a Selenium consultant, right? Let's say she has all that knowledge of. Okay, now I did fill in. It allowed me to fill in everything, right? What I did just now is I entered the information as it is supposed to be. So this is called the happy path scenario. In case of a happy path scenario, I have entered the expected information. I did not enter in case of home phone number. I did not enter something like that, right? Now, had I entered something like that, so that is not technically happy path scenario, because the scenario is not justifying what the information is supposed to be in there. So that is negative testing, which we will come to. Right now, again, I'm going to go with the happy path scenario. If a phone number is expected, I am going to put a phone number in there, right? Okay, when I have done everything, I am not looking into something called validation. Validation is everything that I have put in, is it the right information? Or as a matter of fact, when it is expected, and what if I don't put it in there, can I get away with it? So if I don't put it in there, that means that information that is supposed to go in there is not there. So my data is not validated, right? It's not the valid data. It's not a valid data. Can a phone number, when it is required, and if you don't put it in there, should it work? The answer is no, it should not work. Now, did they tell you if it is a required field? Right now, shame on these people who had built this, right? That's me. So, I did not said anything about this is a required field or not. So you as a tester, you got to keep your eyes wide open while you're doing this, because you got to focus. They're coming to you. You're gonna be making money. This is your job. This is your livelihood. So you better do your job in the right way, right? If you're a cook, right? How would it be if you're being asked to make something and then you end up with something else? I mean, they're not going to keep you there more than that shift. You're going to be out of that shift. If I am your boss of that restaurant, right, I'm going to let you go in the middle of the shift, right? That is exactly the same that is going to happen when you go as an automated tester if you're not able to do the stuff. So what I'm trying to teach you here is how to cook, and how to cook good, right? In the context of if you are working as a cook. But as an automated tester, you will test not only good, but you would be testing in a way that, you are contributing in making the software better, because you are helping the developers finding out those bugs. Right? So you have to know what you are cooking. You have to know what you're testing, meaning that, is this a required field? So start asking questions to yourself in your head, right? Before you go out and then say that, hey, you did not give me that. Hey, you did not give. No, first of all, you ask yourself. Now, first name, you look at it. You should see, usually there is an asterisk here if it is expected. Right? So it is not there. So you could question, is it required or not? First name is something you and I, we can relate to. But what if this application is something about measuring the distance from Mars to Earth, and you have been hired by, that's an extreme example that I'm giving you. But let's say if you go to a financial application. In financial applications, now, maybe 90% of you know about what is a margin call, right? But maybe there are 90% of you who don't know what is a margin call, right? So that means that we don't have the knowledge of that particular application. So they are hiring you because you have good skills in Selenium. So it's okay if you don't have that knowledge, but you should be able to talk to the team, read the documentation, and understand everything, because you cannot be getting paid about 50, 55, 60, $65 an hour and not know what is something or how to test something. So not knowing is not an option. So you probably would not become an expert in that particular business domain, but you can learn a lot by reading the documentation, by going to your team lead, by going and finding out the information. There is no shame. Once you get hired, you're there. You're there. They hired you for a reason, because you were good at something. Now you got to prove it to them that yes, you are good at something, and that is exactly the training is all about. We will be doing everything in the next 8 sessions to make you damn good in this Selenium testing. That is my promise. I will transfer the knowledge. Now, I will do my job. I will do my job because I've been doing it for about 23 years. I am in IT, and it's almost time for me to retire. Because I've been doing this for quite many years. There might be something right that we are doing, that I have been working for 23 years in this field, right? So I will transfer my knowledge to you. I will make sure that how to test, and I will give you more than you are expecting. What is expected out of you is I will be giving you some tasks. I will be giving you some assignments. You will be working as a group. We will be making you a part of a group. Now, you should put in your effort. Serious effort is what is needed. This next 8 sessions, 4 weeks, 1 month, is a serious commitment that I am expecting from your side. So you get intimated, right? You should really get in love with this software testing. And if you want to be having a good relationship, an intimate relationship, you give your 100% to it, and that's exactly what I want. No reason is a good reason for you not to complete your assignments, your exercises. So you have to be completing your exercises. All right. Okay. So why don't we get started in here? And again, this is supposed to be an interactive session, so you are supposed to ask me questions if you are not understanding something. But you would say that, what have you done so far that I am not understanding? I'm understanding everything because you have not done anything. So allow me to do something. Okay, so let's continue. So here we go. I will be putting in my phone number, and I am doing this. Look at what we get right now. What we get here is, okay, it is giving me a message. I entered something, correct? I entered this person's information, and it is coming back and it is giving me customer information added successfully. So that means that I have a new account for this person, right? So why did I create a new account for this person? Because the goal was to come back and test here, log in. So here is my phone number for that person, and you cannot see, but this is the password. This is the password. Now, what is your expectation now? If I click on submit, what do you expect to see? You expect that you should be able to log in. Now, let me go with a number that you cannot log in. So let's say this number, and I hope that number is not there. And when you do that, what kind of message do you see? It says, we are sorry, no matching profile found for that username and password combination. Please try again. Right? Okay, so that is supposedly, that is the behavior of it. If you enter something that it is not supposed to be in there, it is going to give you that message. Now, what if you enter the valid information, thinking that this is there in the system, right? This is there in the system. So when you do that, it should welcome you. It should say that, hey, I'm displaying from this system, the number that you try to enter is that, and that is for this person, her last name is that, and it gave you access to the system. And we could go in and then do things in here, like whatever we need to do. If you need to go into my account, you could be doing things in here, right? Okay, so this is a manual test of one of the features of the application. The feature of the application is that authentication, right? So, or authentication is nothing but the easy word for that is the login feature. So you should be able to log into an application. Are you able to log into the application right now? Yeah. Now the question is how. This is a manual test for that. You did test it manually. It worked fine. All is good. But if you have been asked to do it as an automated tester using Selenium, how would you do it? Where would you start? Okay. Now, in order to test that as an automation, as an automated software test engineer, if you have to test this feature, right? And if you have to test this feature, first of all, you have to prepare the environment. What do you mean by preparing the environment? Am I doing this testing from my phone right now? Testing I'm talking about, right? If I have to do a test, if I have to test as an Selenium tester, if I have to do the testing, where can I do the testing from? Can I do the testing from my phone? Can I do the testing from my, if I have an Apple Watch, can I do the testing? No, you are using, those are devices to use the application, right? But the functional testing, whether the application is working, is the behavior, the way it is supposed to be or not, that you are testing it from your machine, from your computer. So let's talk about what is needed, as a computer, what kind of computer you should have in order to do your testing. So we are talking about some environment, right? So the environment is basically you should have, let's say, give me a second here. You should have a on your machine as a tester, as a tester, right? Your machine should have some operating system, right? So your operating system should be Windows, and it can be Windows XP, even though I don't prefer that, but it can be Windows XP. It can be Windows 7, Windows 10, and there was somewhere in between Windows 8, so that is also okay. But notice I made it very small because I hate it. Oh, you'd say hate is a strong word, don't use it. Well, I don't like it. Right? How about that? I don't like it. I like Windows 7, I like Windows 10, so it can be any one of them. Now you would say that, how about if I have a Mac machine, can I test from a Mac machine? The answer is yes, you can test it, but this course I'm not going to be teaching you anything about a Mac machine. I'll be teaching you everything about a Windows 7, Windows 10, a Windows XP, but not a Mac machine. If you say that, oh, I have a Linux machine and I have a Unix machine, can I test from that machine? I would say, who in the world would have a Unix and a Linux machine as their laptop? I mean, at work, it's a different story. We are not talking about the application. We are talking about the tester's machine. So tester is your machine and my machine. Even at work, what kind of machine we should have? So we usually would have a Windows machine, Windows 7 or 10. So you should have this machine, right? So almost all of you probably have Windows 7 or Windows 10 or whatever, right? So that's good. What else are you supposed to have on your machine, right? Okay, that is whatever you're supposed to have. That is called preparing the environment, right? In this course, as we progress in time, today being day one, there are certain things that we'll be doing on day one. Day two, we will be doing certain things. As we progress in this course, we will be adding more and more and more and more to the environment so that one day, before the end of this course, you'll have a perfect environment, whatever is needed. Usually, you don't need to go to the end of the course. By day 3, you will have pretty much everything that you need to have so that you could be doing all your testing. Okay, so as of now, as of today, in order for me to do a testing, what do I need to have on my machine? You need to have, first of all, browsers on your machine because it's a browser-based testing. What browsers I need to have? Oh, well, I would say you need to have that. You need to have Google Chrome, and you need to have Firefox, minimum these 3. On my machine, I have a lot more. I have Opera, right? And I have Apple Safari, right? If you don't have this, no problem, but these are 3 most popular ones, so you should have them. Now, I am not going to babysit you in a way that, oh, how do I go and install Google Chrome? Well, I mean, you should know. I mean, if you have been going to Facebook for past like 5-6 years, that means that you're capable of using your computer. If you're capable of using your computer, you should know as how to do that. Go to Google using any of your browsers and say download Firefox, and it'll give you a link to download it. So let's say if I go in here, and I like Firefox, so I use Firefox a lot. Right now, that doesn't mean that I should not be using the other. But from a using perspective, as a user, to go to Facebook, to go to Twitter, to go, I like to use Firefox. Right. So everyone has their own choice. So the application that this company, whatever that company we are going to work for, is going to be making, people's choice. They might go to that application from Internet Explorer, from Firefox, from Google Chrome. So we got to make sure that it works on all the browsers, not just the Google Chrome or not just the Firefox, the browser that you love, but it is all the browsers. So we should be doing something called a cross browser testing. Right? How do we do cross-browser testing? I will show that. First of all, we got to get started. So in order to do cross-browser testing, you got to have all the 3 browsers. So make sure that you download all the 3 browsers. As a part of the environment setup, right? First thing is you have to have the browsers, all 3 browsers. Okay? Okay, imagine that you have taken care of. If you have not, you should do it, right? And if you have any issues how to do it, I would say that that's pretty easy, and we should not even be discussing about it, because just go to Google and say download Firefox, download Internet Explorer. Now, there are going to be some versions in it, right? Internet Explorer version 9, 10, 11, whatever, and then there is another browser called Edge, EDGE, Edge. So the Edge came out with Windows 10. So if you're working on a Windows 7 machine, chances are you would not be seeing Edge, because Edge came out with Windows 10. So again, people who are not having Windows 10, they might not be knowing about Edge. Why is that I did not put it in here? Because I have a Windows 7 machine. Down the road, I will be taking you into a Windows 10, and I will also be showing you as how to test it on an Edge, right? Okay, we will not leave any stone unturned as a part of this training. I will be making sure that when you get out of this training, you will be very happy with not just yourself, but the fact that TrainingRite had trained you in such a good way is what you would be probably be talking to everyone, and you would be saying that, well, one good decision that I made after the decision of getting married to whoever it was, that was one of the best decisions of my life. The second best decision of my life was joining TrainingRite.com, because these are good guys. They put in some serious effort, they teach you good, and then hopefully you will spread the word and you will send more and more people to us, and that is something we are expecting out of you, and you will do it. I know you will do it, because you'll be a happy person when you get out of this course. Why? Because you look at it today being the 5th of March, and probably you're making no money, or you're making probably like $45 an hour. What I want you to do is, in the month of April or May, you should easily be making about like $55, $60 an hour, provided you listen to every single word I say. And it could be more than that money, depending on the geographic location of where you are. If you happen to be in California, if you are in the East Coast or West Coast, you'll be making more money. If you're like in a place like Oshkosh, right, in somewhere in South Dakota or Montana, I don't know why would anybody live in Montana? But that's a topic for another day. But if you're in place like that, there's little chance that you would be making that kind of money. But if you're living in a happening place, right, you make that kind of money. Why? Because Selenium testers, automated testers, make that kind of money. Now, you have to learn it good. And learning is not just, sitting in the back of a computer and then, just typing and all that. Learning is all about like talking to people, making sure that you can say what you have learned in an interview, right? So one of the things that we'll be teaching as a part of this course is how to interview. Right? That is what you'll be learning as a part of this course. So, sit back, relax, have your cup of tea or coffee, watch me what I'm doing. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. One thing that I will guarantee you, one thing I definitely guarantee you, and I'm digressing from my topic of the environment. Let me come back here. One thing that I guarantee you is, and I have to say it because I want you to come back and say that, yeah, what you said was right. Okay, this is session 1. This is our time. right? This is session 1, 2, 3, 4, session 8, right? 8 sessions. This is your knowledge, right? And let's put it at 100%, and this is, let's say, at, this is 10% here, this is at 0. So we are here right now. The ideal graph is, as the time passes, right, the ideal graph has to be, right? So once we come here, right, once we come to the end of 8 weeks, your knowledge should be, time is 8 weeks, knowledge should be 100%. Now what I have seen is, for most of you, it is going to be somewhere like that, meaning that you would hit about like 80%. And some of you would come here, and very rarely I have seen people going here, which is 100% of what I tell you to do, you will do it, and after 8 weeks you will have that. So even if you are anywhere, this is about 70%. If your knowledge doesn't increase 70%, then all bets are off. Don't come back and say that, you know what, I could not get a job. Well, of course you will not get a job. You will not get a job. I'm telling you right now, on day 1, I'm telling you, you will not get a job if your knowledge level doesn't increase above 70%. It has to. And what is the trick to it? The trick to it is every day, you listen to every word that I tell you to do, right? I'll ask you to do some assignments. This is easy stuff in the beginning, week 1, week 2, or session 1, session 2, session 3. There was a reason I put something in here. If I may say this, some of you literally will start to pull your hair out at the end of the 3rd session, because your brain would be swollen at that time, right? Did you get that feeling ever when your brain gets swollen, right? It'll get swollen at that point, because I'm gonna put so much in your head that it'll start to like swell, right? Become big, because you're taking more. So a normal brain at some point cannot take it. So after week 3, I want you to start exercising. I want you to start doing some yoga. Do something, but be with me, right? Watch less TV, right? No movies, no boyfriends, no girlfriends, no husband, and no wife. Forget about it. They're not going anywhere. I want you to treat Selenium as your husband, treat Selenium as your boyfriend, as your wife, and be with Selenium till 8 sessions. Everything you should be doing, and then tell me that, oh, I got stuck at 70. No, you would. This happens if you don't give enough time to Selenium. And you would say, oh, I tried. No, you did not try. Because a lot of people before you tried, and then they hit about 80, 90, or 100%, and you should go there, and you will go there, right? So it's all about your individual interest in this course. Some definitely come up to like 90%. Some probably don't even go to 70, because they'll drop out after like 3rd or 4th class. They'll like, no, this is not for me. Probably it is not for you. But there's no rocket science going on in here. We are not, trying to cure cancer here. We are not trying to invent, something new here. A lot of people have done before you, and you can do it. It's just a matter of like how much time you can put in. And if you don't get it the first time, we will give you the videos. Go and watch the video. Right? Maybe you might have like, because I keep talking for like 2 hours, and then at some point you get bored. So you're like, he's making too much of a noise. Let me get, and you get away from your computer. And then at that time, I would have covered something very important. And when you come back, you're not like, it's not sinking in, because, I pass, quite important information, and then you missed it. So you could go back to the videos and you could watch it, right? And many a times you have to watch the videos, you have to rewind the videos, you have to fast forward the videos. It'll give you access to the videos, not of this class alone, but the classes that we have done in the past. So there are more than one instructor, right? So you will be able to get the perspective of different instructors. So I will be giving you the videos of course, my class, and I'll be giving you the videos of some other instructors that we have. So you will be getting 3 different instructors, 3 different perspectives, and you know, I guess you will come to a conclusion that we all try to put in some serious effort into you know, transferring the knowledge, because you know, you are paying for it, and I understand the fact that there are a zillion companies out there, and then you have single out our company. So we are humble, and we appreciate the fact that you have chosen us. So you know, the responsibility is equally on us to make sure that you learn it, and that's what we will be hopefully be doing it in the next you know, 4 weeks. Okay, coming back to environment, browsers. What else? For you to be a tester on your machine, you will have an operating system, Windows 7 or 10. Okay, you already told it. Okay, I'm just repeating it. And then you will have the browsers. Okay, what else? Okay, you have to have, because you are going to be Selenium, so you have to have Selenium on your machine, right? You have to download Selenium. Download, right? Download it on your machine and install it on your machine, right? You have to do that. Okay, so where would we go to download Selenium? You would say, what is the Selenium? First of all, you did not even explain it. What is the Selenium? You said go and download. Is that like a fruit? Is that like a you know, pill? Is that like, well, it's neither a fruit, not a pill, because it's a software, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Selenium. Some smart people out there, they put together a software, and that software is Selenium. And Selenium, it does what? It comes in 3 forms. There is something called Selenium IDE, right? I'll come to what IDE is in a minute. And then there is something called Selenium RC Server, and then there is something called Selenium WebDriver. Okay, all right. Now, RC Server, right? It is yesterday's technology. Now, think about it. If you go back, and I'll give you some silly examples, right? And just bear with me. I mean, you know, while you are here to use, you have to hear my silly examples as well, right? So let's say you are going to become a TV mechanic or TV repair person, right? And we are in the year 2016. If I am teaching you how to repair a black and white TV, probably you will get a little bit upset, don't you? Because you are saying, why is he teaching me black and white? Who in the world out there has black and white TV? What am I learning this skill for? How can I put this skill to use? Why is he wasting my time? Right? That question comes. Same thing applies with RC Server. This is yesterday's technology. It is sort of like black and white TV, meaning this was used in the year 2009, 2010. Since 2010 and 11, they jumped onto the color one, right? Which is this WebDriver. So today, if you go across and look into any household, right, you'll find a color TV. You go into a hotel, color TV. You go to the airport, color TV. You go into the basement of any color TV, right? So any company you go to, you'll find what? WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is what they are using. Was there a black and white TV once upon a time? Was there RC Server once? Yeah, sure. But today they are not using it. Now, I have done a lot of training because we have been doing this training for many, many, many years. So in the year 2009 and 2010, when there was no color TV, I was doing RC Server. So I'll give you some videos of that. If there is a curiosity that, how do they do RC Server? I'll give you some videos. But in the live class, as you and I meet here on Saturdays and Sundays, it'll be boring to teach you something which is not being used in there. Fair enough? Yeah. Okay. So you will have the knowledge. If there is a need for you to go back, right, you will go back and watch the videos for RC Server, but you will be, and I will be talking about the color TV, which is the WebDriver. Now you would say, okay, I understand that part. What is this IDE? Okay. Now, in order to understand IDE, I have to tell you a little bit about Selenium, right? Okay. Now, what are we doing? You would say, oh, we are supposed to test applications. Okay, applications, what applications? You would say, oh, those applications that run in a browser. So let's say this is a browser, right? This is a browser. The square thing is a browser. Inside the browser would be what? You will have some page, right? Some application, some page. And on that page, you will have, this is, let's say, username, right? And this is, let's say, is the password, right? And then there is a button to say login, just like what we did. So you have to enter something in here, enter something here. If you type it in here, that becomes manual testing. Now you want automation. So what is automation? Automation is you will do what? You will write a program. So here, using something, you will write a program. Now, bear with me for a few seconds in here. If you want to, and this is a question and I want you to respond. If you want to, right, make your resume. If you want to make your resume, right, tell me where would you go if you want to make your resume? Which tool would you use? On your computer, you want to make your resume. Okay, I have Vaishali giving me an answer, Asif giving me an answer, Nasim giving me an answer. How about the rest of you folks? If you want to make your resume, what would you? Okay, I have Bridget giving me an answer. Just curious, if you want to make, I repeat one more time, and Minha giving me an answer. Now Shweta gave me an answer twice. Look at that. She gave me an answer twice. Why? Because she is expecting me to move on, and I am not moving on because I'm waiting for the answer from who? From the rest of you folks who are not giving me the answer. Nasim, your first answer was right, which is I'm not repeating that answer, but I'm just trying to drag the people who are not answering. I want to bring them here to participate in what I'm trying, because okay, Gochi, thank you so much. Okay, so for the rest of you folks who did not participate, so you kind of like ignored me, correct? You ignored me, which is fine. If you're ignoring me for this question, which is how would you make your resume, if you're ignoring me on that, down the road, if I'm going to be asking you if you have to configure your build.xml for running the for executing the Selenium scripts using ANT, and if you have to configure the parameter in the at that time, definitely you would not be interacting with me. So what is that I'm trying to show you here? I'm trying to show you, and I'm being harsh to you right now. You're not liking me right now, but I better give you the truth on day one. If you do not participate, my friend, you are literally at the end of 8 sessions, you are going to be somewhere around 70%. And I'm telling you now, you will not get a job. Telling you now, repeating myself, you will not get a job. You will not get a job. So I will be scratching your back to a point that you will enjoy it, because sometimes when people scratch your back, you enjoy it, right? Sometimes it is going to be hurting you. And if it is hurting you, you will take it once, you will take it twice, and after that, you will try to correct that situation. Correcting that situation is, you would say that I might be doing something wrong, that this is hurting me. So I better listen to this guy or I get out of here. So you will have that choice of either listening to me or getting the heck out of here. So don't waste your 3 classes or 4 classes to get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry, forgive me for saying this. If you don't belong here, get out of here right now. I don't think that it is going to work. But if I am asking you participate, your answer could be very wrong. If you say that I will ask my mommy to make my resume, that's fine. I will take that answer, but talk to me. Tell me that I'm going to go to my daddy to make that resume, or I'm going to talk to me. Do not ignore me, because It's not about the resume. It's about I'm trying to bring you, include in here so that when we get to week 8, you are somewhere above 70%. And what am I going to get out of it? I already got your money. I got your money. I mean, why am I working so hard? Because I want you to be successful. I want you to be successful. I want you to be a happy person. You will be a happy person. Trust me, you will be a happy person. When you get out of this course, I will make you a happy person. If not for anything, you will be happy that you took this course, because you will learn stuff. That's my promise to you, provided you participate, you listen to me, right? So please put an effort. The answer is yes, you will be using Microsoft Word to make your resume. To write the program, right? We have to write our resume, we use a tool called Microsoft Word. To write the program, and the program is some code that we will be writing. And the code that we will be writing, the program that we'll be writing, programming is done using some language. If we have to speak, when I speak, there's a word that when you speak, flowers should come out of your mouth. I mean, what? Flower should come out of your mouth? I mean, wow. That's a saying, right? That means that speak good. So use good words. Don't be Donald Trump, right? I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know. The guy is like insane. The guy is insane. I mean, I have been watching politics for so many years, right? Since our old friend Bush was trying to become a president in the year 2000. I've been watching it around that time. I'm not the Reagan time guy, so nobody ever used body parts to become a president. The guy's like insane, crazy. Anyway, so the idea here is we are writing some code. The code is basically using a language, right? Okay, if I Selenium will use a language, will use some program, will use some code that is written in a language called Java, right? If I talk to you in German right now, chances are very few people will understand. If I talk to you in Arabic, maybe one or two people will understand, right? So why? Because you don't know, right? But if there is a need, we have to learn German, we have to learn Arabic, we have to learn whatever, if there is a need for that. Now, if there is not a need, we will die and we will not learn. So hopefully we will not die without learning Java, because in the next 8 classes we have to learn Java. So I will be teaching you again enough of Java that you should be able to write the program. What program are we going to be writing, right? The program that we are going to write, right, will do what? It will mimic, and hear me, it will mimic the action that you will do in order for you to test a feature. So hear me out. I said the program that we are going to write using Java will mimic, right? Will perform the actions, right, that we have to do in order to test a feature. So if the feature is a login, what actions do I have to perform? So the actions that I have to perform to test a login, those are called test steps, right? Test steps. Now, so the test case is about login. The test steps are, tell me the first test step. The first test step is, do you agree that I have to open a browser first? Right? That's my first test. Now you say, browser? Yeah, you have to open a browser. Now, which browser? Okay, I have a choice. So right now, let's say we go with IE. So open a browser, right? This can change, right? This can any browser, IE. That's the first step. And number 2, navigate to the application under test. AUT is application under test. That's my second step, right? So my test case for login has test steps, and first test step is to open a browser, navigate to the application. Now the actual thing is, can somebody tell me what is my third step? What am I supposed to do, right? after I open the browser, navigate to the application, and we are doing a login test. So my third step would be type my username, right? Type username, enter username. So the username, let's say, is that. Type that, right? Type where? In the username text box, right? And I'm notice that I'm writing this the way I want to write it. I'm using text box, and I'm saying type, and one of you guys said enter the data, and one of you said type it. So that's fine. Entering is fine, typing is fine, but we are coming up with the test steps, right? Test step number 4, enter the password. Enter the password, right? Enter the password. And step number 5 is what? Step number 5, do you think, is what? So you said, oh, click, right? Click on the OK or submit button or a login button, right? Okay, these are the steps. All right. Thank you. I appreciate all of you participating in it, and I sincerely appreciate your effort. Sincerely, right? Okay, so these are the test steps. Now, this is if I'm a human, I will do this. I will click here, I will open the browser, and I will navigate to that application. And this is me, human, doing. Navigate to the application, coming in here, typing the phone number, and this. Now, that is manual testing. Since we are not doing manual testing, I have to do this. This is called automation. So I have to do automation. Automation can be done using many tools. We are using which guy? We are using this guy. So Selenium helps in automation. So what it does, Selenium helps in performing the actions, right? And the actions can be opening a browser, navigating to a particular website, typing some information in a text box, entering some passwords, clicking on a button, selecting from the drop down, checking on the checkbox, clicking on a radio button, blah, 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 blah. All that is what Selenium would be doing. So Selenium is an automation testing tool. It helps in performing actions that we will be performing on a browser, right? Simple layman's language, correct? Now, the real technical definition of Selenium we will do as we progress. I want you to get comfortable with what we are doing, and then we will eventually come to a real technical definition. Okay, so now we said that Selenium is an automation testing tool. For automation, we have to do what? Automation is all about writing code. Code means what? Code means program. Program you cannot write unless you know some language. There can be many languages like Java, C#, .NET. There can be Ruby. There can be Perl. There can be Python. The list keeps going on. Our focus is this. Now you would say, why are we not doing Ruby? We should be doing Ruby. I would say, why not? We should be doing Ruby, right? And I would say that come here, go here, and do Ruby, right? So you pay that, and I will teach you Ruby. You would say that, oh, we should be doing C#. I say, sure, you should go in there. You should. So, I mean, we can do anything we want. Now the question is, I will be happy taking your money, doing everything you want, right? And to help you out, we have different packages here. We can give you 3 courses for $7.99. We can give you more for 6 courses for $11.99. So that's like $200 per skill. I mean, I'm just gonna, I'm amazed at the way our company works in here. $200 we charge you, right? And look at the return on your investment. If you believe in yourself, right? The reason you are here because of the fact that there is a market for all of these things. And I did not call you. Did I call you? How many times did I call you? I mean, probably you call me rude or you call me whatever, but we never call you. Not because we are rude, because we don't have to. We are all adults here. You are an adult. You looked into your research and you found out that there are so many Selenium jobs. You said that there are so many Selenium jobs. If I know these things, I could get in there, right? There are so many jobs there. Okay. Now, um, depending on what part of the country you are in, you could be going and then you could be working, and we will be teaching you everything that there is to learn these things. Now, let me take a step back. They are paying you 85,200. Now, immediately in your head, oh, this job is not for me. You would say, I mean, I know you. I have so much of experience from my life that I can, oh, this is not for me. This is 80. No, this is probably for you if you know these things. So we got to make sure that you learn these things. Now, how much of it you would be learning here? You would be learning Selenium, you'd be learning Java, you'd be learning automation, you'd be learning TestNG, you would be learning sort of like XML, you would be learning Selenium Hub, you will be learning Grid, you will be learning Java, automation, TestNG. Now, some topics you will not be learning. As an example, REST API, you will not be learning. Web services, you would not be learning, right? Why? Because if you go in here and you would pay another $200, and then you would be learning all those things there. I said 200 is because if you have taken 6-course package, this would cut down into half. This becomes from 400 to 200. So if you took that 6-course, which is like $11.99, which is $200 per course, your return on your investment is going to bring you something like that, provided you work so hard, you learn everything. There is one of the reasons they bring in 80,000 people from foreign countries like India, Russia, Philippines, China, and every year they are bringing 80,000 people. We are here in this blessed country, in this country where, opportunities knock like left and right, but we are like, I don't know, there are not that many jobs. Oh, I'm from this country. Oh, my last name is this. Oh, my color is, all these things are excuses. Trust me, these are these things. Nobody in the world can stop you unless you have a very, very bad luck, right? Because for one, I believe that sometimes luck also plays. You are at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then you get killed. I mean, you are not a criminal. I mean, 2 days back, a cab driver, right, was driving. I mean, imagine he got up at 3 o'clock to earn the living so that he could put some food on the table for their family, and the guy was driving past a club, and inside the club there was some shooting going on, and they came out, and then they were shooting one another, and this poor guy got hit and he was dead right on the spot. And so that's bad luck. So we're not talking about shooting. We're talking about, okay, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to make that money. If you don't get that money, you would get pretty close to that money, if not 85,000, 65,000, your first job. Now, but you have to learn. You have to learn, right? And that's what we can only tell you. Okay, enough of ranting. Let's come back and address what we were doing in here. So coming back, if you see, we have to write the program. So the language, we offer every language that is out there, but right now we are focusing on Java. So since we will be writing some scripts in Java, right? And the Java that we'll be writing, right, is the programming language. If we are writing a resume, we need a Word. If we are writing a program, we need a tool. The tool is Eclipse, right? So preparing the environment is downloading Eclipse on your machine. You have to download Eclipse on your machine. You have to download Java on your machine. You have to download Selenium on your machine. You have to download all of these things on your machine. So let me get started first so that we can prepare the environment. And once you prepare the environment, this is easy. To do the testing is very easy, very easy. I want you to repeat, right? Say it out loud. It is easy. It is easy. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to make you an expert. It is easy. So let's download the things that we need first. Let's start with Java. How can you make sure that you have Java on your machine? Well, I would do this. I will go to Start, and I would say here CMD and hit enter. And when I do that, here I would say Java hyphen version, right? I mean, case really doesn't matter, but if things they don't matter, try to go with a small, so Java hyphen version, hit enter. Now it's gonna give you back this message, and this message will tell you that you have Java on your machine. Now, when you do that right now, when you do that, if it is telling me anything else, right, other than probably it might be saying 1.8, 1.7, something, you all can test it, right? So I'll be waiting for you to tell me if it is saying anything different, like let's say something like this. I intentionally I'm going to give a wrong command, right, so that it can tell me that it would say that, let's say it is Java, so it will say that Java is not recognized, so that means that you don't have Java. So how about you folks? You have Java, right? Now, how do you do that on a Mac? Where is that slide? Where is that slide? Here. Now, when you go to work, what are the chances when you go to work you will be using on your machine Mac or Linux or Unix or something like that? There'll be very little chances that you would be using Mac or Linux or Unix, even though you are using it. This course, I will not be teaching you anything about Mac or Linux or Unix. So if you have a Mac machine, next time when you come back with a Windows machine, because you might learn it on a Mac, but down the road we'll be doing so many things that I don't want you to use a Mac, because you will be left far behind. So come back with a Windows machine. You should come back with a laptop or a desktop that has Windows on it, right? Next class, which is tomorrow, try to log in with a Windows machine. Between now and tomorrow, there are 22 hours. Best Buy is still open. You go to Best Buy, get a small machine, bring a machine, $200-300, you have a laptop these days, that's fine, and come with a Windows machine. Okay, for all of you, if it says that Java hyphen version is not recognized, make sure there was a space in between Java space hyphen version space. And if it is not giving you anything, if it says that internal or external command is not recognized, that means that you don't have Java. So let's prepare your machine. Let's prepare the environment. Let's get Java. Where would you go to get Java? You go to Google and you say download Java. When you do that, it brings you to this link and it says that, okay, you can download free Java software. Okay, so when you click on that, it might take you to this and it is showing you to download. Now, wait for me, I will show you the best way to do things, right? Even though on the internet there is so much of, not so the best way to do things. So I will show you the best way to do things. So when it shows you free Java download and all that, don't go there. Go to this one, let's say, second link, right? Okay. Now, here, and I'll explain you what we are doing. Oracle owns Sun Microsystems, right? Sun Microsystems are where the guys, when I was growing up, Sun Microsystems, came up. They became a company, I mean, when I was in high school, and then they came out with this Java. So, and they got bought out by Oracle. So now Java is under the umbrella of Oracle, and when you go there under this Downloads tab, you see so many things, right? NetBeans is a tool. NetBeans is a tool like Eclipse, but we will be using Eclipse, right, to write our code, our scripts, not NetBeans. Okay, Java. If you look at Java, the current version of Java is Java 8. right? If you see, I'm using 1.7, so you don't usually use this 1, you call it by 7 or 8. So today it is Java 8. I'm using Java 7. It's fine. You could use Java 8 or Java 7, doesn't really matter, right? Okay, very good. So let's say you don't have it and you have to download. Okay, there is something called Java Platform, JDK, right? Java Development Kit. Now, development means building something. Now, you would say, I'm not a developer. Why are you making me download JDK? Well, I mean, you are not necessarily a developer, but you would be developing scripts. You will be writing scripts. So you're in other words, I mean, sort of like a developer, right? So you have to download the JDK because you'll be doing that. So let me download the JDK. So you come in here and you click on that and you download. First things first, you will go in here and you will say that I am downloading the standard edition development kit, right? And over here, you have to accept the license, and then you have to choose which one. So is your machine Linux, Mac, so Sun Solaris? Your machine is Windows 64 or Windows 32-bit. How would you find out which one is your machine? You would go to Start and you go to Control Panel, and probably you're going to be seeing something like this, small icons. So I try to make it like a large icons because I'm doing the presentation. And if you go into system, and in the system, you should be seeing what? You should be seeing right here what your operating system is. It's a 64-bit operating system. It's a 64-bit operating system. All right. Okay. So you will go back and you would say that Windows 64-bit and you would download this. You click on that and it is going to download. Now, this is 187 megabytes, right? It's for a Windows 64. I'm not going to download, but fast forward and think that it is downloaded. So this is what you should do, where you should download and what you should do. When it gets downloaded, you would see somewhere here, it will say that it is downloaded. So just go and say show downloads and take the file from there, cut it from there, and do this. On your file system, on your C drive, on my machine, if you see on my machine, I have Advanced Java Training, Android, Angular, JS testing, Appium, BA, right? Okay, you will, on your machine, you will not have all this. Your machine would have like 3 or 4 folders, no problem. You will create a new folder. You will call that new folder Selenium Java. It's fine. If you want to keep it like me, call it Selenium Java Training. Okay? All right. In there, I want you to create a folder called softwares, because we will be downloading many softwares during this course. We will be downloading many. One of the softwares, if you see, I downloaded in the last month when I was doing this class was JDK. This is the software. So you have to download the software, put them in the right places, only because if somebody wakes you up at 2 in the morning, you should be able to know, oh, where is my Java? No, you would say that, oh, I know that Java is in my Selenium Java. There is a folder called softwares, and in there is my Java. So you have to organize yourself. Because right now we are taking some baby steps, 1, 2, 3 steps, baby steps. Down the road, we will be doing a lot of stuff. At that time, you will find me doing, so many things like Log4j, POI, jars, Apache, this, that, blah, blah, right? So many things. Right now, so that's what you should be doing. And once you have it in there, double click on it to install. Okay, I will not go through the installation, but I double click on it, and just to show it to you how it is going to look like, a box will pop up and it will say that, hey, are you trying to install Java? So you have to download and then you have to install. Here it is. When I say run, it will go, just follow the prompt, just say next. It will take about less than 2-3 minutes and it will install. Once it is installed, here is the deal. You had it open, correct? You had it open. When you have it open, this command window will be looking at your system the time when you open the window. So if you do a Java and hyphen version again, it will still, after the installation, it will still say it is not there. So what you do, you close and then you open it again. and you open it again, right? So when you close and open it, at that time, when you do Java-version, it should give you whatever it should give you. Okay, Naseem, I have unmuted you. Go ahead with your question. Hello. Naseem, I see that your hand was raised, so I have unmuted you. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, do we put the developer, install developer Java also if we already have Java on our machine?
Yeah, I want you to have the JDK, and the JDK is what is needed, and we'll give you some documentation after the end of today's class. We'll give you some documentation, and you'll see everything in that documentation. But you have to install the JDK. Install the JDK, please.
Okay, so in addition to the 1.8 version that I already have, I'll be installing JDK also.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. See, I like when occasionally, once in a while, somebody talks to me. So that gives me an idea that we have somebody, on the other side who is paying attention to me. Otherwise, it feels like I'm just babbling here, and then nobody cares about what I'm saying. So just occasionally, just wake me up if you may, right? You would say, wake you up. You're like 2 hours continuously. You're just babbling. What are we waking you up for? Okay, so let's continue. So we have installed what? Java. And do we know that it is on our system? Do we know how to test it? Sure, we know. We go to command and we type the command Java-version, and it should give you something. That means that, okay, I have Java on my machine. What else is needed on your machine? Okay, let's take a look. We said download Java. We did. Now I have to download Selenium, and after that I have to download Eclipse. Let's go and download Selenium. Okay. Now Selenium comes in IDE, RC Server, WebDriver. Which one of it am I downloading, Irfan? Which one am I downloading? Am I downloading IDE? Am I downloading WebDriver? Which one am I downloading? Okay. In fact, we have to download both the IDE and the WebDriver. Right? So I'm going to show you how to download IDE, and then I will show you how to download the WebDriver. Why are we not downloading RC Server? Answer is black and white TV. Right? Don't give that answer in the interview, please. You might just go and say that, oh, we did not download RC Server because it's black and white TV. And they're like, what? What does TV has to do with RC Server? So that was an example. That was an example. Anyway, let's come back and then download IDE and WebDriver. Now, I did not explain you what IDE is yet, did I? No, I did not. So let's do that first, and then I will explain it to you. So to do that, we're going to go back again to Google. And here I would say download. Download what? Selenium. Just download Selenium will bring me to this site. Bring me to this site. I will click on download Selenium. That brings me to this site called Selenium HQ. So this is like the Bible of Selenium. Anything and everything of Selenium you could find here, right? In order to do the automation on a browser, you will use Selenium. So Selenium is a tool that helps you to do the automation on a browser. And to do that, you need to download Selenium IDE and Selenium WebDriver. Now, let's start off with IDE. I know, as a matter of fact, because we've been doing these classes left and right, so blindly with my eyes closed, and I have my eyes closed right now, right? And I'm doing this, and I can show you how many times I have to do this, right? I'll show it to you that probably I'm seeing Selenium IDE right now. You would say, come on, you're cheating. You have your eyes open. Sure, I had my eyes open. just like having a little joke with you. Okay, so if you scroll down 1/4 of it, right? So you would see that you have some Selenium IDE. All right. So okay, now I don't know about you, but when I hear the word download, I think like, oh, it's going to take a long time to download and whatnot, right? But it takes like a couple of seconds to download. So why? Because IDE, right? What is IDE? Let's talk about it. Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin, meaning that now Selenium IDE is that part of Selenium that will work only with Firefox, right? And what does it do? Selenium IDE makes you not write the code. You'd say that, I like that. If I don't have to write the code, if I don't have to learn any programming, can it be done? Can you become an automation tester without even knowing the programming? The short answer to that is yes, you can do it, right? Yes, you can do it, but is it gonna fetch you like $120,000? The answer is no. It's not gonna fetch you $120,000. All right. So bottom line here is you have to learn the programming, the WebDriver, and all that. You have to learn. Okay. So coming back, we will start to download the Selenium IDE, and in order to do that, we go here, right? I mean, I noticed that. Let me take some names in here. Minha, Naseem, Shweta, you're not looking at my screen. Now Naseem started looking at my screen. Shweta is still not looking at this screen. Now she is looking, and Minha would not just care. Now you would say, how do you know about it? Well, I have that third eye. I can see everything. Okay, that was a joke. Okay, so Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin which will record and play. So every tool, whether it is QTP or whether it is, there is other tools like QTP, it's skipping my mind right now, Ranorax and other tools like that, they will have a feature called record. You can record. So Selenium also has a feature. So what recording will do is, if you go to a browser and if you perform a particular test, which is you go in here and you click in here, you enter something, all that is recorded. Behind the scenes, it gets recorded, and it will give you, it will write, Selenium IDE will write the code for you. You would say that, wow, is that not a good thing? It's a cool thing. Yes, it's a cool thing. So it will write that code for you. So you have to download that. You have to download that. So for that, we came in here to Selenium IDE. And if you see, we can download it from here. So download latest version from addonsmozilla.org. So if I go in here and click on that, that brings me here. And take a look at my screen. It says that, okay, if you see here, right here, it says that Selenium IDE, I can add it to Firefox. Now, since it's a Firefox tool, you have to go with the Firefox browser. And if you see, I have a Firefox browser. This is a Firefox browser. With the Firefox browser, I'm going there and I will add to the Firefox browser. Now, clicking on that, it is asking me the permission. Sure, do you want to add it? I will say, yes, install it. And again, we will think that it might take like forever to do it, but when you click on that, it's already done. It's already installed. And it says that it is installed. Do you want to restart Firefox? Yes, I want to restart Firefox. It is closed now. It is opening up and it is installed. It is installed. Now, you would say, what? It happened so fast? Yes, it happens very fast because it's just a plugin. It takes like blink of an eye for it to install. So it did install. Now, how would you know that it got installed? What did we install? We installed IDE. And how do we know that it got installed? This is what you should do. You should go to the menu items, and here there is tools. Sometimes these menu items will not be there because if you right click in here, if this menu bar is not checked, those menu items will not be there. So you right click on that, check on the menu bar, and go under tools. And under tools, if you see, there is something called Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE, right? Okay, so all your machines right now should be prepared to have Selenium IDE. If you don't right now, don't worry about it. Do it after the class, but you should have Selenium IDE. So when you click on that, this is what you should see. Give me a second here. This is how it should open up. So let's say if you go to tools and if you go to Selenium IDE, this is what you should see. So what you are seeing here is Selenium IDE has been installed on your machine, Selenium IDE. Okay. Okay. Now, we talked about downloading. We download that, and in this, I downloaded the IDE. Right. There is still a need for me to download. WebDriver. Right. We will come to it. We will come to it as how we're going to be downloading WebDriver. But right now, I'll show you about IDE. We have downloaded it. Let's use IDE to do what? To prepare this automation test case for the login, right? So before I do that, now let me ask each one of you any questions so far. Each one of you, any questions so far? If you have any questions, let me know. Naseem, you have any question? Madhu, you have any questions? Mr. Az, right? You have any questions? Let me know. Frank, any questions? Bridget, any questions? Asif, any questions? Anyone, any questions? Okay, so you can do it after the class if you want, right? So you can, but I was asking overall if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, let's quickly get going. So over here, we will be doing what? We will be testing it. So what is our test case? Our test case right now is basically this login, right? That's what we are going to be doing, login as a test case. Yeah, Naseem, go ahead with your question. I have unmuted you.
Yes, I wanted to know, can we, all the steps that you're taking, can we look at those steps after the class is over and go over the class again, the same class as today, not previous recording?
Let me ask you a question. What do you think?
I should. I'm hoping we should be able to.
Then your hope is a good hope. You will be seeing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Because I'm trying to take notes, and it's kind of difficult to do it quickly enough. So I was hoping that I could see the class, everything we have done, and go over the class again.
Right. I mean, when we started, I mentioned to all of you, sit back, relax, have a cup of coffee. So no need to take any notes because this video is being recorded, and you can play this video till you start hating my voice. So yeah, that many times you can play the video. So don't worry about writing, taking any notes or anything like that. You're fine. You're good.
Okay. Because when you said you're not looking at the screen, I was actually typing in Notepad some of the links that you were
in
the file.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, so now we are almost at the tail end of this session. So I want to finish up with something here so that you guys can go ahead and then do it. So let's say we have been tasked with testing this one. So they ask us to do the automation testing for this particular right test case. Now we have to come up with a test case. Now, is there anyone who has a problem coming up with a test case for this one? So is there anyone who has an issue coming up with a test case for this one? Now this is the test case for the login. These are the test steps, right? So once you have these test steps, we will go ahead and then we follow these test steps while creating this test in the Selenium IDE. Okay, so the first step is we have to make sure that we open the browser. Second is navigate to that. Third one is type it into the text box. Fourth is this, and fifth is that, right? Okay, so with the IDE, what I'm going to do is I am going to automate that. So for automation, first things first, you will bring up your application, right? You bring up your application, and after you bring up, this is my application right now. From the application in Firefox, you are bringing it up, right? And after that, go to Tools and go to Selenium IDE. So this window pops up. Now, this box is nothing but it's a tool. This is the Selenium IDE, and as we said, that this is going to help you in recording your steps, right? So what are my test steps? My first step was to open up the browser and navigate to the website. The website, if you see, is here, TrainingRite.net. So you can type that TrainingRite.net if you want to. You can type it over here. Since the browser is Firefox, you don't really have to worry about opening Firefox and all that because it will be open already. So which application you want to go, you will type it in here. Now, if you notice here, there is a red button here. The red button is all about recording, right? So it gives you the status of the recording. So if you bring your mouse and hover over it, it says that now recording, right? Meaning that anything that you do, it is going to record, right? Because it is in that mode, it is going to record, right? All right, so what are we going to record now? Our step is to type something into this box, correct? So let me move this over here, and I have to type something in this box. And what am I going to be typing in this box? I will type, this was the phone number of Sobia, right, that we entered. Now you would say, how did you remember that? That's a question. How did you remember that? Now I would say, if you wake me up 10 years from now and say, what is her number? I would remember it. The trick for that is when I created, look at your keypad. I said, look at your keypad on the side. It is 369-852-147. So I was like, just moving my fingers, and whatever numbers came, I took that. All right. Okay. So here is what we have. And now the password was password. And I will go and I will do a click on submit. And when I do that, I have to make sure, I have to confirm that the number that I had entered, which is this number, right? I am able to see this number. If I see this number, that means that I was able to successfully log in. If I don't see this number, you will see that message. Remember that no matching profile was found and da-da-da, right? You'll see that message. Since I'm seeing this, I want to make sure that I'm seeing this. So the way I can confirm is I will just highlight it, right? And I will right click, and notice some commands in here. So there's a command called assert, and then verify and store. All right. Okay. The difference between these things is they all pretty much work something similar to what we are looking for right now. We are looking for something to confirm or say that, yes, that number is there. So assert is a way of validating or stating that this condition is true, meaning that I'm asserting, I'm looking for this number. So if that number appears, then the assert basically passes, so that it says that, okay, we found that number. Verify is pretty much the same, so there must be some difference between verify and assert, right? So the difference is, let's say after this, if I'm clicking here or clicking there or clicking there or doing something after it, if I use assert, and if the assert fails, then I cannot continue with the test. I cannot continue with the test. With verify, it will say that it failed, but I can still continue with the test, right? So that's the difference between the two. We will do this, quite a bit in the upcoming sessions. Right now, I just want you to take away from it that there is something called assert and verify, and this assert and verify will make sure that your test did pass, right? So I'm going to take assert for now. Right, I did that. So I clicked on few things, right? I typed the phone number, I typed my password, I click on the button, and I right click on this, and then I said assert. I did something. So all that behind the scenes was recorded. If you go back in here, and if you see, all of this is recorded, right? All of this is recorded. So I have to give this test case a name. So right now this test case is untitled, so I'm just going to go to file and say save test case as, and I will give it a name. So while I'm giving it a name, I have to save it. So you guys have not created this Selenium with Java training folder. If you have not, just create, and then once you double click on that, go and create another folder, and that folder is basically about your test cases, right? And those are IDE test cases. So create this folder, right? And then after you create, inside it, let's save this current test case. And this current test case is the login test case. Now, if you notice, I probably have logins, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a batch name. So this one, and I will say this is March 2016, right? And this I did it on day one, right? So that's what I'm gonna call it, and I will save it. So as you can see, it's no longer It's no longer untitled, but we have basically a name. There are a few steps in here. Right now, I will not worry too much about these steps right now, right? I will explain it to you in a couple of minutes. What I will worry about is this part. This is the menu, right? So if you need to save something or if you need to open an already test case, you will come in here. Likewise, you will use the other menu items in here, options, and when the time is right, I'll show it to you what this is all about, right? When the time is right, so probably in the next class, I'll show it to you. Right now, right, what we will do is we understand the fact these menu items are there and we have to do something about it, and when the time comes we will be interacting with these menu items. But it's good to know that it is there, and if we need something we will be doing. As an example, if I need to save, I would go in here and save it. If I need to open, I can open it, things like that. Likewise, we'll be covering the others later on. This part you already know because this is the application, right? You already know. Now this part is, this is the tool bar, and there are some things in here which is going to help you to do certain things. One of the things is your test case. When you run it, we recorded it right now. In order to run it, we have to click on these buttons to run it. But when you click on it, it's going to run very fast, and we want to see what it is doing. So I want to run it slow. So just drag it on the other side so that it runs slow. And over here, we will go ahead and we will click on one of these two buttons. Now, why do we have two buttons? The reason we have two buttons is because the first one is for playing the entire test suite. So suite is a collection of test cases. So let's say if you have more test cases. Right now we have only login. Tomorrow when you come back, let's say when I say tomorrow, whenever is the next class, which is tomorrow. So when you come back, let's say if we do this, right? So that's another test case. So if you have more than one test case, then those test cases will be right here in this window cascaded, right? And you need to run all those test cases. So you will go in here and do that. Right now I have only one, so I could just go and play the current test case. And if I play the current test case, what is it supposed to do? It'll rerun these commands. It'll rerun these commands. So what are the commands? Let's talk a little bit about the commands. The commands are, it has to open what? Wherever we are. So let's say I am right now on Yahoo, right? And I'm looking at this funny guy and I'm at Yahoo, and basically we want to run this test case. So what this is going to do is, it says that oh, it really doesn't matter to me where you are. I will open this. This / means that this address, right? So it's going to take you to the base URL. It's going to take you there. After it takes you there, it'll do the next command. The next command is to do what? To type. Type where? Type on this txt phone. So let's say if we go there, right? And let's say we don't know where is this this thing. We don't know, let's say, right? So what we can do is we could highlight that and we could say find, right? So I don't know, but if you keep an eye on this, it is going to highlight for a second. See that it turns yellow, right? So if your screen is crowded, if you have like 27 different boxes and check boxes, radio button, and if you don't know which one is what, so you could just highlight it and then say on find, and then it'll tell you what it is. Right here we have like 2 or 3 things, so it's not a big deal, right? So as an example, if I go to the submit and then click on that, and then it should technically show you what that, and as you can see that. All right, okay, so we have everything in here. Now the next thing is we got to be running it. So let me just stay away from the current page. So let me go to Google, let's say. So I want to run this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some space in here and run this. So in order to run, you would click on this one. So as you do, first line is it is going to open, and then it is going to type Sobia's number, password, click on submit, and now if you see, it did go all the way, and then it gave me this one. So this is the original thing was not there. So this actually when I was doing something, it got recorded. So this you can delete it. This was the original thing. So let me just run it one more time. So here we go. We run it. So it goes back, right? And it puts the numbers, password, click on the button, and it comes in here, and it asserts it's looking for that number, that 369, and if it finds it, it gives you this green here. This green means that it is a pass. So what we just did was automation in its most elementary fashion, meaning that we did the basic automation. So what we have done is we went in and then we recorded the script, and then we played the script. All right, we recorded and we played the script. So hang on with your question for a second. So what I am going to do is let me go over here, right, and just close this, right. I am going to close that, and I will go to a different test case. The different test case is I want to do this sign up. I want to do the sign up, right? Naseem, hold on for a second. Let me just finish this and I'll take your question. So on the sign up, signing up for a new user. So I will sign up this time for, let's say, Shweta. Shweta is a very smart student. She is very smart. I think it's in the name. All Shwetas I interacted with are smart. I said that because we have two Shwetas here. I had to say that because the other Shweta might get upset. Anyways, that was a joke. Come on, take it easy. So we have to do a sign up test case. So for the sign up, basically, just think about it. If you have to automate the sign up. Now, you agree with me that this cannot be this simple, that they would be paying you like $55-$60 an hour for just doing the recording. I mean, it cannot be that simple, correct? You are thinking in your head that that's the case. You're partly right. You're partly right. That it just cannot be just record and then run and then get that $55 an hour. It can't be that. So there's little more to it. So what is more? Basically, this is what we have to be doing. We have to write our code into this tool. So far, we have looked at preparing the environment. So the preparation of the environment is basically all about, downloading the proper software. So we came up with the definition of Selenium. We said that it helps you in automating. So, and what are we automating? The actions that we're going to be performing on a browser. So we came up with the list of the steps that we have to perform, which we did by preparing the environment. Part of the preparation of the environment was to go ahead and then download your IDE, which we did. I showed it to you. Before that, you had to have Java on your machine. I showed you how to do the Java, and then we downloaded the IDE. Then we said that we come to the color TV part. Now, as I was saying, that everywhere you go around is the color TV. So everywhere you go around is going to be the WebDriver. So the next thing that we got to be doing is the WebDriver. So you got to go and then prepare the environment. So download WebDriver on your machine and all that. And when you download WebDriver on your machine, you to create your resume, you have to go to Word. So to write the WebDriver, to use the WebDriver, you have to have the Eclipse as the tool. So you have to download Eclipse as well. All right. Okay. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and not download WebDriver and Eclipse, because that's basically what we'll be doing tomorrow. And then we will do the same thing that we have done today, which is this test that we have written here, right? If I go into IDE and in the previous, allow me to do this, in the previous batches, if I open some test case, let's say this is the test case, right? Or this is the test case. This was again day one, right? Every day one, we do it slightly differently. And that's the reason we are giving you some videos from the previous batches. So probably in the month of November, this is what I did as a part of day one, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we would be cutting corners, because we are not, because we will be giving you everything that is needed. So I'll be giving you the videos of the previous batches as well. So let's take a look at this test case that we did in the month of November, right? Or this one that we did in the month of, if you see 9/17, that probably is like September. So let's take the latest one, which is November, right? So I'm going to open that test case. So if I go there, it looks like, whoa, it looks like a little bigger, right? Because if you see here, Oh, there are a lot of steps in here, right? Ooh, look at that. Okay, so we have no idea about what it is. So right now, I'm just running this. I'm just running this test case. Bear with me. I'm just running this test case so that you get an idea of what this is going to do. So I am, if you see here, look at the first line. The first line says that it is going to open TrainingRite.net, and inside TrainingRite.net, it is going to go to, there's something called online. So that's where it is going to go, and it will type, there is a text box, and it will type Panasonic into it, and then it will click on a go button. Then it will do, it is doing something, right? So let us run this. Let us run this. So to run, what I'm going to do here is I'll just make some space, and I will be somewhere here in the corner, right, so that we could see what it is running and whatnot. So here I go, and I'm running it, and I want you to watch the screen as we are running, and we will discuss these things, and this probably is going to be your assignment, but let me just run it, right? All eyes. Here we go. So look at the screen. It is taking me there, typing something into that box, taking me there, changing that, doing things, right? Clicking on that, typing a camera, doing this, right? That, that. Whoa, you would say, what is going on here? What is going on in here? There's a lot of stuff. Who is James Bond? Don't ask me that question. So it is doing a few things in here. It is entering your credit card, and notice it did not enter the CVV2 and expiration of the credit card. Did you notice that? It did not do. And whoa, what we have here is we have an order number. So now you would say, what just happened there? You ask this question, what happened there? I have absolutely no clue what happened there, right? That's what you are saying to me right now. And I will say that makes two of us, right? Because I don't know what happened there. So let's do this. Let's discuss what happened there. So here is a website. You have been asked, this is a e-commerce website. It's a shopping cart website. All right. So this is the website that I built long time back, and over here we are trying to do something that any e-commerce website they will do, right? I mean, intentionally, I have basically inserted some bugs in this website, some defects in this website, and that's what you all have to figure it out. So let me just go over the website. This is a website, something similar to Amazon.com, something similar to eBay.com, something similar to, it's a retail e-commerce website. All right. So what do you do on a website, right? If you go to Best Buy, if you go to Amazon, what do? You search for a product. So I, for one, I have limited products in here because, you know, the idea here is to show you how things work. I don't have to put 5 million products here. You agree that I don't have to, right? So I put some iPhone and some cameras and all that. So let's search for some iPhones, right? You would say, why are you searching? It's right here. Now let's say it is not showing and we have to search. So I will type iPhone, right? So it's a search iPhone and hit go. And it is searching. It is giving you some iPhones, correct? Okay. What do you want to do when you see something that you like? So you are at, let's say, Walmart. Now you can always come back and say, I don't go to Walmart. I go to big places. I don't go to don't give me an example of one. I could give you an example of something that I do. So I go to Walmart. So if you go to Walmart, you are taking your shopping cart with you, and then you're going through the aisles, and in the aisle you will find something, right? So let's say you found this. So what do? Oh, you add to the cart. So here we go, we add to the cart. Now you would say, oh, this cart has already so many things in here, right? So if you already have so many things on your cart, then you do what? No, I don't need this cart. I don't need this cart. Let me get a new cart, right? So here we go. So we got, let's say, so you have to flush you have to flush what is called the cookies and the cache, C-A-C-H-E, the cache, which is on the browser. You have to flush it so that you don't see it. So it's like you re-entered into Walmart again. Fill in the blank and use the shop of your liking. So you come in here, and this time, let's say we are going for Samsung. We search for Samsung, and I will go ahead and I will add something to it. So here we go. Now notice when I try to flush, it did not go through, right? So probably I might have to go and then clear my history and remove all of these things from here. Let's see. Okay, hopefully it's gone. Hopefully it's gone now. Okay, so we come back, and I'm just trying to show you, and we will end here. Oh, it's, by the way, it's the same guy. It's the same guy calling me 14th time, and anyways, so let's go in here. Right here, I'm gonna search for something. So this time I'm gonna search for Panasonic, right? And hit go. And this TV, I like it a lot. So this TV, I like it a lot. So I'm just gonna add that. So now you notice that I cleared, so everything is gone. So I searched and I found the TV, I liked it, and then they are giving me a discount on the TV. The final price is $243. I say that, wow, this is a good place. There's a big sale going on. Let me buy more. So buy more is go in here and click on that, right? As I'm doing that, think how Selenium is going to do it, right? So you go in here, and this time you're searching for Sony. So when you search for Sony, click on that. Oh, you have the Sony TV, and you already bought a TV, but then again, you like it so much that you want to buy one more for your, basement. So this is where you go. So you added it, and you're happy that for $553 you're getting two. So you'd say that I think I should put one in my bathroom, in my bathtub. I will watch Sony. So I will add two. And you see that 311, it did not change. Oh, I have to recalculate. Oh, it did change. So I have the total. So everything is working. Good. Very good. Now let me check out, right? So you proceed to check out, and then you enter all your information. So here I'm going to enter Nasim, right? And we know our policy that we don't give out the addresses. So forgive me, Nasim, I'm making you live on a main street now. It could be anywhere. Illinois. I don't know the zip code, so I'm just gonna pretend that that's your zip code. And phone numbers could be, I can remember his phone number anytime if you wake me up, right? You know that trick. So Visa, let's say that's the number. Now, you all know that Visa, they don't start with 6, but I intentionally put that 6 in there. American Express, they start with 6. But I put Visa, and so let's see if it goes through. CVV to the back of the card is 124, and the thingy is 2026. It's expiring, and he's a nice guy. He wants to send gifts, so he's sending a gift to me. All right, so I will put my name, and I will put my address, and this is where you're gonna send it to, zip code, and my phone number. I'm gonna put it. Okay, so we got one last opportunity here to buy more, right? So which is fine. We are good here, right? The only thing that is we did not do right is Visa doesn't have it. But let's see if the order goes through. More than the order going through, I just want to experience, what's going on in here. So I searched for something, I selected it, and I was greedy. Because of the sale, I went back and I searched for some more, and I added it, and I was more greedy because of the sale, and I want to have one more TV for my bathtub. That I did, and I have one Panasonic, two Sonys, and I'm happy. And all this Nasim is buying and sending it to me. All right, okay, that's very good. Now let's submit the order. So it's going to cost him $863, and when I say submit, the thing I am expecting is what? Some confirmation. Oh, here is the confirmation number. But I know deep inside my heart that I did something wrong there. I put a wrong credit card. So that tells me that there is a but. So if it was a happy path scenario, I put the right credit card, I get the confirmation, okay, everything is working. So one way of testing is you go through everything which is positive, then you come back and you go with negative testing. So you screw it up by putting in wrong information, and if it goes through, that's bad, right? So then that you have to come back and report as a bug. So all this, whatever I have done, here is my question to you. Can you automate that? And each one I expect an answer, yes or no. Can you automate that using Selenium IDE? Answer a yes or no. Okay. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead. 8. Go ahead. The rest of you. 8. Ogochi. Ogochi, question for you. Vaishali. Vaishali was the first one. Shwetas, the Shweta, last name with V as in Victor. Shweta, can you do it? Madhu, Franklin, Rajesh. Okay, so the rest of them, they very conveniently ignored me. So that's fine. That's fine. I can understand. Why? Because they ignored me, because they are upset, because they said, man, you said you would be ending this session around 2 o'clock. You are 10 minutes over. Don't do that to me. So I respect that. So with this, we end our session. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you being here. So I'm going to take some questions now, but we are not teaching anything new. The assignment that we have for you today is you will be doing this test case. This test case. For the test case, you will be going, this is the URL. I'm just going to give you the URL, and then I want you to go ahead and then do the test case. So this is the URL, and I'm sending it to all of you, the URL, and you will be doing the test case, and you will be sending me a screenshot. You'll be sending me a screenshot. Screenshot of what? This is what I want to see. If I see this on in your email that you have sent me, then I am happy. The screenshot should be something like this. So if I see this, and I should be seeing, when you have something like that, I should be seeing, now it will make sense. If I run it, I'm running it, and behind the scenes, it is making sense right now. It is adding, and it is doing, and as it is doing, the color is going to change, right? And so I want you to give me a screenshot of when we end it, there is a green line, right? And so it is searching for iPhone, and it took the iPhone, and we have so many items in there, and it is taking all that and then entering the person's name, which is James Bond, this and that, and it'll give me the confirmation number, which is all good. Okay, so as you can see, they're all sending gifts to me. So we are done. We have the confirmation number. Now, if you, the screenshot should be this. If I see this green and all this light green, that means that you did executed the test. The test did pass, right? So give me the screenshot of this. So make it like that. And if I see green here, if I see all this, I know that you did. What will this prove? This assignment will prove. This will prove that you know as where to download the Selenium IDE, you know as how to do the testing, and you have paid attention to the fact that I asked you to do something and then you did it. So I appreciate the fact. Okay, I'm done with the session today. I'll take quick questions. Go ahead, Nasim, with you. We'll start.
Hello, Mr. Frank. the question I have is, you went to, when you were replaying the script, you were in, let's say at Yahoo or Google, and on the recorded script it had only backslash. How did it know which URL to go to rather than, it doesn't say the actual URL, it just had backslash. So how does it know to go to TrainingRite.net and not some other URL?
Okay, backslash here is basically it's completing after the base URL. The base URL must be here. So this is TrainingRite, and if you have something, it'll go to TrainingRite and go to this folder called online. So if you don't have anything in here, it'll go to the base URL. So from here, it will know.
Okay, so base URL is the current web page that you have.
That you are testing, that you are testing your application under test. That's the one.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Very good. Okay, what name and phone number will we use for the test? What name and phone number? What name and phone number will you be using for the test? Create one for yourself. So go ahead in here, Bridget. You make one for yourself. Make all of this for yourself, and then use that to test it. Use that to test it, because you don't know who the users are. You don't know who the users are. So you make yourself as the user. Do the test for this one also. Make yourself user and then test it. Right? Okay. Any other questions before we get out of here? Let's see. Somo, I don't know if you're still around. I do not know if you're around, but if you're around, and if you want to come for the 4:30, I'll send you the 4:30 as well. All right. Or if you're bored with my voice, then that's it. But I can send you the 4:30 as well. Okay. All right. So let me take your questions again. Please do not forget to send the recording. By the way, the recording will be sent to all of you who have paid for this course. If you are sitting on the edge and if you're still deciding whether to go for this course or not, you have 22 more hours, because in 22 hours we're going to be having the second class. So just go ahead, make a payment, go to trainingrite.com, go under pricing, and you could buy, if you're buying a package, you could buy it from here. If you are buying a single course, just go under courses and go to the desired course, and then you just click on it and then make the payment. Only those people who are registered will be getting the links to come to tomorrow's class. All right. Okay. Have a good one. Thank you for being here on a Saturday. I'll see you back again, same place, same time in 22 hours from now. Thank you again so much. You were an excellent group. I enjoyed teaching, and forgive me for taking you 15 minutes over the class. All right. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.